Hi beautiful friends. Today I've got my notes. I had a really beautiful session last night in meditation with my Ascended Master guides. Had some really good questions coming through that I wanted their perspective on, and today we're going to talk about the perspective or the question that I see a lot in the spiritual community of like, well, why do I need to like fight the dark forces? Do I need to be, a part of that? Or, there's the perspective of, well, my inner reality reflects my outer reality, and as above, so below. So why can't I just, do my inner work and then, and not engage in the fighting the dark forces or whatever. Like, I feel this sort of chaos, confusion around this question and this inquiry. I love that word, inquiry. And the thing is, it's like kind of the heart of that question is like, well, why can't I just sort of like be alone and meditate and just work on myself and not worry about what's all this other stuff that I'm seeing that's going on? And the thing is that I have to start by saying, it's like, well, if this is truly where you're at, listen to that. There isn't anything wrong with that. You want to take 3 years and not talk to anybody and go rent a cabin in the woods and meditate and cry and be angry and work through your feelings and journal and drink tea and hike and not engage with any of this? Okay. That's, okay. I'm not here to make that wrong at all. Not at all. But you must be certain and clear that is correct for you. You need to know with every organ in your body needs to be reverberating, yes, that's what I need. That's what I need. Okay? So if that is your yes to totally like just I'm just going to work on myself. I'm just going to work on myself. I'm not engaging with any of the other things. Respect, man. Like total respect. But you have to know for certain that is what you are being called to do right now. Okay? So that is we're just going to start with that sort of disclaimer. Okay? Now, I'm going to get into the flip side of this, right? All of you are going to be totally guided in your own unique ways. But the Ascended Masters shared with me really the importance of what's going on right now and the opportunity that you have right now. Because this question and sort of the energy behind it of like, well, why can't I just want to be like, I just want to like, meditate in a cave and reach enlightenment that way. You probably already did that, friend. Like, you probably did. And now, in this year, in this moment, you have the opportunity to weave the master that you are into the collective and being seen and in being a leader and stepping forward and using your voice. Now, that looks like so many different things. Okay? That looks like so many different things. Most of them are unseen. Most of it is unseen. Most of the greatest, I guess we could call light worker moments that I feel like I have walked through in my life, very few people are aware of that moment, of that shift, of that leadership. Now that might change over the coming years, but I just want to be those moments. They're very of leadership and of saying yes to being seen. It's like maybe you were only seen by one person, witnessing you in that journey. That's still applicable. Totally applicable. So we are currently in a 3D physical world. We got to start there. Why do we need to start there? Because if you want to vote in the 3D world, which by the way is still like, you're still voting in the 5D, but it's like you can vote in like the other realms without anchoring that vote into 3D. So I'm saying, I'm going to challenge you to like, let's do the voting right here. Let's do that voting here. And to do that, it requires action. It requires like here's what the guide said. I loved this so much. We're in a 3D world right now. So if you want to vote with your action, that would be greatly appreciated. That would be greatly appreciated if you could find the ways in yourself that you would like to vote with your action. That would be greatly appreciated by everyone. By everyone. Actions speak, reverberate louder than words. Wouldn't it be such a bummer if I was sitting here talking about all of these things and then you like came into my life and I don't know, I was just like not actually doing any of this stuff? Wouldn't that be like so ick and disappointing? Yeah, action speaks louder than words. I've had to have a lot of years of practicing this stuff and actually putting it into action and actually like seeing what sticks, what works, what's true, what's the illusion, how do we take this like here, practically. I talk a lot about some of those tools that I've discovered in motherhood, in the Conscious Motherhood Masterclass. So I would encourage you guys to check that out if you're a mother. Actions speak louder than words. It's your choice. This is, by the way, again, always, it's your choice. No one can tell you what to do. And someone asking a question like this one that we're covering, someone asking a question like this is searching for the comfort once found in dogma. So, because this is a question, I was in this question for a while. It's like, well, why though? Like, why can't I just do my own thing? And why does anybody need to see it? Why does anybody need to experience me and my embodiment and like, why? And in dogma, okay, let's continue reading. Dogma comes from so many well-meaning places, or not so well-meaning places, but it breeds followers. It breeds someone who's like, can you please tell me what to do? I don't know how to think for myself. Please change my diaper for me. Please make my bed for me. Please prepare my food for me. Please just do it all for me. It doesn't produce Christed human beings on a true ascension path. There is sort of a place, on the journey for dogma. It's sort of one of those gates that, yeah, like maybe you'll walk through that, right? But it doesn't create like Christed beings walking towards ascension. So check yourself. And if that's, man, I can feel that for some of you that is going to trigger you. Like to check yourself, scan your past, present, future self for dogma, and just be with that. Okay, be aware of it. Be aware of it. Take it up in prayer. Take it to the Ascended Masters. Help me understand the places within me that have taken vows and consecrated myself to this little perspective. So why can't I just work on myself? Well, another thing that I hear, that I've experienced behind that question is like, why do I have to engage with anyone? That doesn't, like, why? I just want to be comfy cozy right over here and what I think and what I know, and I don't want to engage with anyone about that. That feeling, right? Because why? Why don't you want to engage with anyone about what you really feel? Because of the moment you feel the disagreement, the different perspectives. That can be so challenging for you sweet souls, you light workers, you angelic beings who are here. It's just like, ugh, the disagreement. I know. Yeah. Allow your innocence to speak. So this was so beautiful. I'm so grateful. This was such a beautiful message. I love this message. When we are rising up as Christed beings, and if we want to, quote, fight the dark forces, here's one way to do that. Let your inner child come up and ask the questions when someone is like projecting on you and in that disagreement, and they have their perspective, and you know, if you want to engage with that, be the child, right? And the tarot, the fool. Be the person that asks questions of that person. Ask a really good question for them and it'll stick with them, right? That you'll ask an innocent question, right? Like, okay, what example do we want to use? What spin the wheel of all of the global crises that, you know, come up in conversation. One of them could be vaccines. Okay, so you've got somebody in your life that is just so excited about this vaccine. It's the everything, and, you know, no doubt about it, it's just the best. And the child within, the inner master, right? The innocence, the master of like innocence that is within you, that is pure curiosity about this place, is like, well, I've been seeing this information, this from a scientist, this from a doctor, you know, what do you think about that? Because that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm taking in. How are you, you know, integrating that information? Because I'm integrating that information, and it's sort of, you know, it's actually pretty shocking for me. How do you feel about that? If they want to engage, they will. If they don't, there will be some sort of like flustered, you know, situation of why you're crazy. And, you know, that's fine. Like, it's none of our business. That's fine. But at the same time, we want to be available, compassionate, authentic, showing up in our truth, walking our talk. And really, truthfully, like, we aren't actually fighting anything. That's the other thing that came through from the masters. I think as light workers, as light warriors, you know, it's going to be really important for you to have a personal relationship with the word warrior and what does that mean for you? It's not like the Braveheart scene of charging forward with swords. It's actually much more vulnerable than that. And that is the moment that you are showing up to the fight, to the good fight. I don't like this word, but I know that there's, right now in our collective consciousness, it does feel like we have to assert ourselves for what we believe and what we came here to represent on behalf of a planet ready to ascend to Christ consciousness. So there's some duty, there's a mandate with that. with that contract. And here's the other beautiful thing that the masters were reminding me. It's like when you actually get to the higher perspective, when you're able to zoom out, you're in love, you're feeling supported, you're remembering who you are and who we all are. You're remembering sovereignty, you're remembering free will choice, you're remembering the gift of life. When we are in that state, and it's just like, yes, yes to this life. What a blessing, what an opportunity, what a gift, what a get to. When you get to that higher perspective, I don't feel like I'm fighting dark forces by being myself. But I guess in a sense, maybe people could see it that way. But I don't experience my life that way. When you see your purpose and when you see your excitement for being here, you know, we all feel better after we do the hard thing. You know, that is what victory is. It's when you do the hard thing for you. And it, you know, it's not on behalf of anybody else. You did it for you. You had that conversation so you know, could just rest easy that night. And you're not thinking about like, man, I really wish I would have said this, or I could have asserted myself, I could have stood up for myself, I could have spoken my truth in a better way. Those are, you know, those are important reflections. But if you're just like lightning in the moment, showing up, saying what's on your heart, not really worrying too much about what anybody thinks about that, you're being respectful to yourself and others, well, there's not so many of those dialogues happening in the evening. And then you can do fun things like have conversations with Ascended Masters and stuff like that. You know, or your star family. You know, there's space cleared in your truth. As you speak truth, it clears the air. Like air is just yummy and clear, and it's the best. The other point that the Ascended Masters brought up is, so the question is, right, like, why can't I focus inside and that be my service? Well, and this is like the Magdalene, the Christ, the, you know, Jesus. That counsel stepped forward and it was very clear. You focus inward by doing things. That's how you really focus inward. And that's how you really take full advantage of this absolute gift of your human body and your human life at this time. Man, it's like enlightenment plus doing things equals Christ consciousness. That is the light warrior. It's practicing the inner work, like going inward. Okay, well, what do you discover? You've got to practice it somehow. It's got to come out of your body somehow. Otherwise, it does start to sort of make you crazy when you do the inner work and then there's nowhere for you to exercise it, to practice it, to press it out of you, just like strengthen your spirit. It can make you kind of crazy. When you know things, but it's not coming out of you, there's a, you know, that's the feeling of like when it's a block. And it doesn't feel good to feel blocked. It just doesn't. It feels good to be standing under a waterfall, just like feeling the rush of life, feeling the pulse of life, you know, feeling the rhythms, the movement. It's like feeling time moving through us is exciting. feeling the now moment pulsing around us, just inviting us. What are you going to do with this now moment, this now moment, this now moment? So I just want to express how much compassion I have for the sweet, sweet souls who are genuinely sitting with this question. Like, I get it. And just keep taking steps and celebrate every step. Celebrate that this is a journey and there's no such thing as overnight success. There's no such thing as overnight enlightenment. Maybe there is. Maybe there is. But I have found, and we absolutely can make quantum jumps. I'm going to talk about that in the next video, and I'm saying, like, let's go there. Let's do that. Let's have that conversation. Yes. But also, you know, this is a human journey. This is a 3D journey. Are we experiencing 3D moments and higher dimensional moments? Yeah. Yeah. Like every day. Like a lot now. However, 3D is still a thing. Still a holy, holy, holy thing. It's beckoning. It's beckoning for you to bring in do your inner work and then offer it. Life is an offering. Life is an offering. It's not it's just, that's what it is. That's just, you know, I'm sitting here and doing these videos literally like this. I'm in prayer, you know? This is our prayer. And human, celebrate being human. Celebrate that things do get to be at times more slowed down. It's a gift. It's a get to. It's a time to integrate. It's a time to be with your body. It's a time to be with the earth. You know, I think we can get really wrapped up in like, well, it just has to be like quantum jump, you know, and there's a lot of fun in that. But what makes that really possible is understanding, having the wisdom to be fully here, fully lucid with exactly where you are. And when you do that, you are getting to know yourself. And that is why I'm here it's like, let's get to know ourselves. Let's connect with higher beings that can really guide us to really good questions, really helpful perspectives to move this thing right along. And let's enjoy the journey along the way too. So thank you so much for being here. Continue the conversation for me in the comments if you feel so called. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to know what you think about this. And I know that there's more to add to this conversation. I know each of you have perspectives on a question such as this and experience on a question such as this that I would love to hear about. I really would, because I think we've all had those moments of just like, this is a little bit too much and I need to bow out. Now I've taken 6 months, 8 months, I've taken, year, especially after having my children. Those were quiet times. Those were really quiet times, integrative, times. And it was about the inner work. It was about adjusting to the new. It was all of that. So I just want to honor wherever you are, wherever you are, I love you. And I would love to hear from you and talk to you more in the comments about this conversation, because I think it's a really important one. And this can be joyful if we embrace our innocence truly. So I hope you subscribe, and I am blessing your life with every miracle that only you could be so brilliant to command. I love you.